Sergeant Mike Peake chairs the Greater Manchester Police Federation and serves with the GMP and joins me now. Can you explain what was going through the head of the PCSO when they took the action they did? Good morning to you.
Good morning, Nick.
Why would they do that, do you imagine, Sergeant?
I think it's very difficult. The law's really complicated in general terms, but when you look at the various legislations that could apply in relation to offensive or material, as Chief Constable Watson said yesterday, the officers were responding to a series of complaints. Now, guidance has been issued by GMP. I've had sight of that guidance, which has been circulated internally to try and help officers and staff understand the issue and to respond in the appropriate way. That guidance is 15 pages long. With the stresses and strains of policing anyway, I question whether an officer has had time to read that and digest it effectively as maybe they should do. So to answer your question, no, I can't explain why that was the case. Within that guidance, officers shouldn't be taking down those posters. If they are deemed to be fly tipping, then obviously that's the responsibility of the local authority and council to remove those. But in short, no, the poster should have remained up, and I fully agree with Chief Constable Watson's stance. He's apologised, and I think we just need to move on. It's a mistake, an honest mistake.
Sergeant, how frustrating is it for you as a senior officer, particularly when you've got younger officers and you've got PCSOs? Respectfully, this should be encompassed in about 3 paragraphs on a single sheet of A4. It should not be a 15-page booklet, should it?
Well, that just evidences the complexity of the issue. I mean, I was only contacted, I'll give you an example, I was only contacted yesterday by a Muslim officer who raised concerns with me around a green symbol of Islam flag that you would see in most mosques, and that is being highlighted as a flag that is similar to Hamas. And actually, it's not. What police officer would understand the difference if they didn't understand that culture?
Can I bring you to London and I'll comment on what we understand to be the situation here? It is believed that the owner of a pharmacy in Edgware had put out a number of retweets using fairly inflammatory language about the actions of Israel in the Middle East. If you'll understand, I won't read those out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sergeant. The posters were then put on the shutters of that chemist's site as a sense of, if I can use the word, a retaliation. That is why the Met are saying they took the posters down that they did. Was that fitting with the booklet that you have?
Well, you've got to consider the Public Order Act. So if anybody's caused offence by any material, and obviously that's an offence, and you would have to make a judgment call as to whether you would allow that to stay up or not. But what we're talking about in Prestwich are posters of people who have been taken hostage, which is a completely different scenario.
I would have thought it would have been better to try and, spread that news rather than the misinformation and the propaganda.
Sorry, what is the misinformation and propaganda about the kidnapping of children and grandparents?
Well, I'm saying they have been taken as hostages as part of an ongoing...
You said it was misinformation and propaganda. There's no misinformation and propaganda, is there?
Well, there is, because 200
hostages
have been taken, but also there's lots of people that have been taken as prisoners.
No. Let's focus on what these posters are about, which is the kidnapping of 200 plus Israelis.
I'm saying there should be parity in lies.
No, there's no misinformation.
There should be parity.
Jacob, just accept that you got it wrong and we can move on.
No, I haven't. I haven't got it wrong.
So where's the misinformation? Right, this 9-year-old boy, Ohad Zikri, where's the propaganda there?
Okay, and what about the lies that are...
Stop with the what abouts. No, you said this was propaganda. Back it
people
up.
That are alive
Either retract.
And being treated
No. You said these posters were propaganda. I'll do no, thank you. Tell me how it's propaganda, sir. Tell me how it's propaganda.
Excuse me, if you allow me to speak. All I'm saying is that you've got, one-sided set of posters showing hostages. So why
No, hold again. You have to defend why they're propaganda. Don't take me into the appalling events in Gaza, which I understand. Explain how this 9-year-old boy's poster is propaganda.
Okay, what I'm saying is, for parity's sake,
No, we're not in parity. We don't want history lessons. The last chance, you do have to back up, sir, why it's propaganda, because it's not propaganda, it's reality, isn't it?
It is reality.
Thank you. At least we got there.
Number one is, I totally agree with taking down. I am Jewish there, yeah, and I live there, and I agree. I think it's actually wrong to provoke the other side's opinion in a controversial area.
Right. Okay.
It's a fact of a matter. you could do it in a heavily populated area of the community, but to put it on the outskirts, which is what happens, where it's heavily controversial over there. The fact of the matter, right or wrong, I'm not denying that it's right.
I'm sorry, this is my fault, so I'm a little puzzled. Do you say these posters should be removed or shouldn't be removed?
I think they should be removed because it's sparking controversy.
What's controversial about the kidnapping of a 9-year-old boy, Israeli boy?
Very simple. If the Muslims go and see that, I'm not saying their opinions are right, but they will go and they'll say, "Oh, we don't care about this. They're killing us in the Gaza area."
Not every Muslim is going to say that.
Like your previous caller was trying to justify it. That's how they'll justify it.
But my point would be you need even more of these posters to show that you and to show that you're not going to be intimidated by that sort of, because everything, this isn't open to interpretation, Sam. This 9-year-old boy was kidnapped by Hamas along with 200 other innocent civilians.
Yeah, but what are you trying to achieve by putting them up?
Well, they want to help I'll quote directly, please help bring them home alive.
Well, putting it in a Muslim community is not going to help bring them home, is it?
No, it's not going to help bring them home, but are we now going to only have posters? And so you could have, let's say, Palestinian posters in Muslim areas, but I'm not familiar with which was the Jewish area of Manchester, so you can have those in, say, Edgware, but we won't put them in Golders Green. Do we want to be in that sort of situation, Sam? What happens when you put them up there? What happens? You just get incidents. That's what happens. So these posters should not go up in Muslim areas then, as Sam was just explaining, this part of Manchester, and I'm not familiar with, well, obviously I've been there, but I don't know the makeup of it. This is very much apparently a Muslim part of town. So it's right then, from your argument, but, Tessa, it's right they come down.
No, they should not come down.
Well, how?
I don't have a problem with the people of Palestine, but when people are in hundreds of thousands walking through the streets of London, calling for an intifada.
No, okay, I hear you. I absolutely hear you on that. But if I can't drive that post with that flag through Golders Green, then these Muslim folk shouldn't have to
I think they would be doing it. They would be doing it to cause frustration.
Right.
By the police pulling down posters is blatantly saying that the police are not going to protect and not support the free world. And the problem is that we mustn't forget that these are terrorists that we're dealing with.
Oh, I agree. No, I absolutely accept that. You'll have no problem with me using that word, Tessa, I assure you.